Hi, welcome back again. Today I am back with a South Korean film called Deranged. Please like, share, and subscribe. Dr. Jae-hyuk is a father of two and a former biochemistry professor from Seoul. He lost his life savings and his job as a result of a bad stock market investment he made on the advice of his detective younger brother Jae-pil. Jae-pil regrets squandering Jae-money-hyuk's in the stock market and has repeatedly apologized to him. But Jae-hyuk refuses to accept his apology and refuses to have anything to do with him. Jae-hyuk is currently employed as a pharmaceutical sales representative for Choa Pharmaceuticals, where he performs menial tasks such as accompanying his boss James Kim's family on trips and kissing his clients' feet. Seeing Jae-hyuk overworked and stressed all the time, his wife has offered to take a job to help him support the family on numerous occasions, but his pride prevents him from forcing his wife to work. Jae-pil, who is remorseful, is still looking for ways to repay his brother. He notices unusual stock activity at Choa Pharmaceuticals and tries to warn Jae-hyuk about it, but the latter refuses to listen to his brother any longer. Choa Pharmaceuticals was purchased by Bronstar, a foreign-based company that has closed its R&D department to save money. Jae-pil seeks the assistance of his biochemist girlfriend and Jae-friend Hyuk's Yeonju to repay his brother, but she refuses to be taken advantage of like Jae-hyuk. Jae-hyuk discovers his wife and children eating in the middle of the night one night, but he doesn't think much of it and goes to sleep. The next morning, an unrelated couple discovers a woman's dead body floating in the Han River and reports it to the police. The discovery traumatizes the couple because the dead body is cachexia, or reduced to skin and bones. The investigators are perplexed because reducing someone to skin and bone takes time, and the woman was with her family last night and went to bed with her husband before she was discovered missing in the morning. The police discover several more dead bodies in similar condition in Seoul's water bodies, sending the media and public into a frenzy. Meanwhile, Jae-hyuk is unconcerned and departs for his scheduled golf trip with his boss Kim. Kim keeps guzzling bottle after bottle of water at the golf course. Jae-hyuk and his co-workers are unconcerned until Kim dashes for the pond and jumps in, almost as if compelled to do so by an invisible force. Jae-hyuk tries to save him but is unsuccessful, and Kim's body, like the others, is reduced to skin and bones in no time. Jae-hyuk returns home late after his boss's tragic death to find his family guzzling water in a similar manner. By the next day, several more bodies had accumulated across the country, attracting the attention of the Korean government. Authorities are baffled as to the cause of the sudden deaths because the victims show no physical symptoms but appear gruesome as soon as they jump into the water. Authorities discovered a victim dead in his bathtub at one house, with unidentified worm-like organisms swimming next to his dead body. The organisms are examined by Ministry of Health officials, who determine that they are parasitic horsehair worms that normally feed on insects. These worms appear to have mutated into a new form capable of infecting human bodies. It has been discovered that the sudden change in appearance of victims after jumping into bodies of water was caused by parasites leaving the host bodies for water. Because these worms can control the human brain, those infected experience increased hunger without gaining weight. When the worms reach maturity and are ready to reproduce, the infected people become extremely thirsty and jump into the river to allow the worms to exit their bodies and reproduce. While scientists search for a cure, the government deploys a police force throughout Korea to prevent infected people from jumping into bodies of water. The government also advises people who have been in or near water and are experiencing symptoms of hunger and thirst to seek medical attention as soon as possible. As a result, a large number of people are rushed to hospitals. Jae-hyuk panics and rushes home after learning about these developments at work, as his family exhibits symptoms of the disease. A team of scientists and doctors investigates the organism and discovers that it is physically impossible to extract it from the host bodies because it fuses itself to the inner walls of the small intestine, pretending to be part of it in order to draw nutrients from the host. Because physical extraction of the organism is not possible, scientists speculate that the organism could be killed by anthelmintic drugs, which are drugs used to treat parasitic worm infections in animals. The researchers created a patient group to test the effects of anthelmintic drugs on the body. Yeonju expresses ethical concerns, but her superiors are unconcerned because they are under intense pressure to find a cure. People flock to pharmacies to obtain anthelmintic drugs as word spreads. Things worsen when it is discovered that using any type of anthelmintic actually causes more excruciating pain and death. The government issues an immediate statement warning citizens not to use anthelmintic drugs to treat the disease. In a Dong-wan village, Jae-pil discovers the chief crying at a local hospital, blaming himself for the epidemic. When Jae-pil asks him to explain himself, the chief reveals that he saw some strangers releasing their dogs in the stream in the spring. At the time, he didn't think much of it because he assumed the strangers were trying to get rid of their sick dogs. The village was days away from the tourist season, and the chief didn't want to jeopardize the year's income, so he collected the dogs' corpses and buried them himself in the mountain. The holiday season arrived, and tourists descended on the village, but nothing happened. After a few months, the bodies began to be discovered by the stream. Jae-pil learns about his brother's family as well, but is unable to accompany them to the hospital due to his work obligations. After more deaths, a patient reveals that he was cured by a specific type of drug called windazole, which he took at home. Clinical tests also confirm the mutant horsehair worm's necrosis. The word spreads like wildfire, and the country goes insane in an attempt to obtain the drug. The drug is only manufactured by Choa Pharmaceuticals, the company for which Jae-hyuk works. However, due to poor sales, the company ceased production of the drug in October of last year. Pharmacies run out of stock in a matter of hours. Officials from the government contact the pharmaceutical company and demand that they increase supply. However, since being acquired by the foreign investment firm, the machines involved in the drug's production have been poorly managed, and the company has failed to produce a single pill. The company's CEO is summoned for a public hearing, and the government requests that the company reveal the drug's composition. However, the CEO claims that the company's major foreign stockholders have refused to do so. And the government has no legal grounds to compel the company to reveal the drug's recipe. The country's prime minister offers the company a large sum in exchange for disclosing the drug's composition. He gives the company a few hours to accept the offer and threatens them with a thorough audit if they do not. People become desperate to obtain the drug as the company considers the government's offer. Jae-hyuk uses his Choa Pharma contacts to obtain the last remaining batch of the drug. When a crowd of people outside the company notices him with the scarce drug, the last remaining pills are taken away from him. Jae-hyuk is heartbroken, and his co-worker consoles him. According to Jae co-worker, Hyuk's Choa Pharma released 100,000 boxes of the drug on the market before production was halted, with each box containing 4 doses. Jae-hyuk finds it difficult to believe that 400,000 doses are depleted within hours of the announcement. His co-worker speculates that the drugs were possibly never released to the public. Meanwhile, Jae-pil begins looking into Choa's shady stock activity once more. He learns that a few individuals with no addresses anonymously purchased all of the company's stock a few months ago, when the company was not even making a profit. During the public hearing, Choa's CEO rejects the PM's offer and makes a counteroffer. He requests that the government purchase the entire company for a whopping 5 billion won. This would make the drug's composition government property, and as its owner, the government would be able to disclose it to the public, allowing other pharmaceutical companies to produce more of it for the rapidly growing number of patients. The price is unreasonable, and most government officials are opposed to the idea, but the Prime Minister is under intense pressure to deliver the cure to the people because scientists have discovered that infected people will die within a day even if they do not jump into water if they do not receive the cure. Jae-pil discovers one of the individuals who purchased the company's stock through further investigation. The man is revealed to be a former Choa Pharma researcher. Jae-pil coerces the man into telling the truth, revealing that the entire health crisis was planned and orchestrated by disgruntled former Choa Pharmaceuticals researchers. Scientists at the pharmaceutical company discovered the parasite Jung-hee a few years ago. The researchers began investigating the Jung-hee parasite's protein that can cure brain diseases such as Alzheimer's. The team was about to begin their research on finding a cure for Alzheimer's after successfully creating a mutant version of the horsehair parasite that used mammals as hosts when the company was abruptly sold over, and the new owners fired the research team. Upset and enraged, some of the researchers banded together and orchestrated the entire crisis. They purchased the company's stock and released the parasite after stockpiling 100,000 packets of the drug. As a result, hundreds of thousands of people became infected during the summer as they went on vacation to rivers. One of the scientists then pretended to be treated by the drug in order to boost stock prices. When Jae-pil learns of this, he immediately calls his brother and the two go to the storage facility where the researchers had hidden the remaining drugs. The two brothers are successful in obtaining the drugs, but someone locks them inside the building and sets it on fire. The two survive, but all of the drugs are destroyed along with the building, and the researcher who told them about the building is murdered by an unknown man. Jae-hyuk refuses to give up and decides to create the drug using his chemistry knowledge. As long as he can develop a drug that contains the same active ingredient as windazole, he should be able to treat his family without the use of windazole. Yeonju enlists the help of other pharmaceutical companies in his plans. Meanwhile, Jae-colleagues' pills continue their investigation into the shady pharmaceutical firm and discover that the murdered researcher was the head of the research team and a close friend of the CEO. The other researchers have already fled the country, and the murdered team leader was supposed to do the same after disposing of the drugs in the warehouse. The entire crisis was premeditated and planned from the start by the CEO of the pharmaceutical company and the researchers. Unaware of all of this, the Prime Minister accepts the CEO's offer to buy the company. However, just as the Prime Minister is about to sign the document, he is informed of the entire plot, and the CEO is arrested. Jae-hyuk and other pharmaceutical companies band together to develop an effective drug and treat everyone as soon as possible. A few months have passed. Jae-hyuk and his family are at an amusement park, joking about their vacations abroad and the Jung-hee worm. As the film concludes with a scene of a dead body floating in New York Harbor, Jae-hyuk freezes and turns around. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like to help the channel out.